Hello, Facebook Ads people. I'm Konstantinos, and this is the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Hello, guys. Another podcast. So today, I'm a little bit exhausted. Sorry for the loss of energy, but it was an intense Black Friday. The thing with the Black Friday in the United States is that from the reports that we have and the statistics, it was the craziest Black Friday of all time, and the sales that happened, they have never happened in the history of the Black Friday period. I think that the reason for that is because it's the only Black Friday after the COVID period that it was normal. People can go to the shops everywhere and stuff, so the statistics just exploded. And to my accounts also, I have seen very good results. The funny fact is that one of my clients fired me, so we're going to stop for 1 month because I stocked him out, which actually it's one of my things that really bothers me. Should I stop just and lay low, or if I see opportunities, should I scale and then just stay without work for 1 month until my client is going to have stock again? So this is something that was bothering me. Of course, for me, it's more fascinating to scale because this is what I like to do instead of just not spending, especially in a period like this. The fun fact with Black Friday is that I always have the feeling, I think I said it in the previous podcast, that when I'm scaling an account, okay, that's too much, okay, you're overdoing it. And then the results are coming and I'm thinking I should have scaled more. And now, this month, I managed to have two big accounts that I would say that I shouldn't have scaled more. I'm preparing some case studies in the channel about these companies. One of them, for example, they were doing 2 months ago 1.1 million in revenue. The previous month we did, I believe it was 1.8. They had a target of 2.5 million and we did 3.5 million on the whole November, which was a crazy scale and nobody expected it. But I feel with this account well because I actually scaled as much as I could. But there are other accounts that even if I was scaling aggressively, I was afraid of scaling more. And based on the results, I should have scaled more. And I'm talking about going from 3K spending per month to 25K and seeing that this is not enough. And of course, this is a skill that you're getting with the years. I can see that every Black Friday I'm becoming better and better of not being afraid, which is why people pay people like me so that we won't be afraid. But you also have such a big responsibility because when you're spending 3K, it's 100 per day. It's not a big responsibility. But when you're spending, let's say 500K, you're spending a lot of money every day. So you have to be there. And this is not an issue for me. I'm 24/7 on PC most of the times. Thank God I have a little bit of personal life. But at the end of the day, for me, Facebook ads is a passion, and it's all about the scaling and stuff. So I don't mind. I don't bother doing it. But it's also risky, going from 3K spending to 50K, 60K spending per month just on the Black Friday period. It's a little bit risky, and you have to be careful. Last thing that I want to point out is that one of my friends, a very good friend, and I actually consider him my soulmate to the Facebook ads. I think that he's equally good as me, which is not an easy thing for me to say. He told me that in his first Black Friday, back maybe 6, 7 years ago when he was starting, he told to all of his clients not to run ads on the Black Friday period, just because he was thinking that the CPMs were going to be so high and they wouldn't be able to compete with others. And it was actually a funny thing because he told me this year, after knowing him for 3 years, and he told me that for the previous years, I was actually afraid to tell you that I did such a big mistake in my first Black Friday. For me, it was a different story. My first Black Friday, I was waiting like crazy for my first Black Friday when I was started running ads, and it was a very good period. Of course, the platform was much better back in the days. So I'm preparing a video. Stay tuned. I'm going to show a lot of accounts, startups, also accounts that I scaled, accounts that they were doing some money, and we scaled a little bit. We scaled a lot, and also some accounts that we hit the spending limit and they didn't, and Facebook didn't let us spend more, which is something that we will analyze later in the podcast. Now, what are we going to do after Black Friday is a big question. The thing that you have to do after Black Friday is that for 1 week after you close all of your Black Friday ads and your spend is dropping down, you need to see what your campaigns are doing. Okay, you don't just go immediately and do other ads unless if all of your ads were Black Friday ads, which I strongly suggest you not to do so. And I told you that you should have a mix of campaigns that they will even stay after the Black Friday so that you will continue to the Christmas period. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can see my video about the Black Friday strategy or the previous podcasts. But the thing here is that for the Christmas period, what we should do is that now for this week, we should see the limits of our accounts, understand how much they can spend with the campaigns that are remaining after Black Friday. After that, we should go through the process of finding a new promotion for the Christmas period, which we will analyze in a little bit of how you should run it, and then start our ads maybe the next week or on Wednesday or Thursday, next Thursday, so that we can run them up to the period of the Christmas. The most important thing about the Black Friday now that it finishes is this. Black Friday is considered an attack period. What is an attack period? It's a period that we can actually scale an account without Facebook decreasing our ROAS significantly or even decreasing them at all. That means that we are able to increase our threshold with Facebook and the spending and be considered a bigger account or introduce a lot of more new customers to our funnels. That means that if we're spending, let's say the previous month from the Black Friday 100K, we increase to 200K on the Black Friday period. On the next periods after that until the next attack period, which might be the next Black Friday, or let me remind you that another attack period, it was the COVID period, the first lockdown that we scaled a lot of businesses. The whole key here is that after the 200K on the Black Friday period, not to drop back to the 100K, to be on 150 or 200K, okay? And I think that my example is a little bit because a company from 100K, if it is a normal good company, I scale these companies to 300, 400K. So most probably we should try to stay between 250 and 300K for the next period until we find our next attack period and scale more and more. And of course, in this channel, we analyze the ways of scaling, which is all about doing more creatives, more products, the different strategies and stuff, which all they have to be combined, doing more platforms, not only Facebook, which all of these things are going to be the things that are going to help you scale your business more. Because a lot of times I meet owners that they just want to scale with Facebook and with just one product. It doesn't mean that you can scale infinitely. If you want to scale, you need to have a plan of more products and more creatives and more funnels and more social media exposure. Now, for the Christmas period, what we need to do is that everybody expects to get their gift on the Christmas period. What does this mean? That if you're running ads for someone or if you're the owner, you need to make sure that you're running your promotion up to the date that when you're going to ship the product, the people are going to get it in time on the 25th. The whole concept of the Christmas is that on the 25th, people have to give gifts or they have to receive their own gift that they did to themselves. So what I want you to do is that you are going to run promotions. Of course, it's going to be something lesser from the Black Friday period, or if you have the means, you can do something which is going to be the same. Go immediately and do your promotion the next week. Start it. Of course, you need some time to prepare creatives and stuff. I get that, but a lot of times these are things that people have organized already, and we were discussing this since the 15th of the previous month. And I'm not talking about November. I'm talking about October. This is when the proper planning for Black Friday and Christmas period is starting, and run those ads and run them until, for example, some people run it up to the 22. So they have a promotion, 20% Christmas sale, up to the 22. Why? Because after the 22, they cannot send the products in time. Or they extend it and they say that you're not going to receive your product in time, but it has to be very clear to the clients, because the clients tend to get super angry when they're not going to get their products on the 25th. I think that it's a little bit risky for these Christmas promotions to put the message, get them before Christmas, because a lot of times things are happening. You can put it up to the 15th, for example, or 18th, which you're going to be safe. But running a promotion with a message, get them before Christmas, it's a little bit risky. There are remote areas that are not going to get it. So try to be careful for the ads that you're going to run close to the period of the end of the sale, so that you're not going to be exposed into your clients. I think that's all I had about the Christmas, how we handle it. We're going to talk now a little bit about Q5, which is a new concept that Facebook is pushing, and they sent me a mail. I think we discussed it also in a previous podcast, but I don't remember, because these are huge podcasts of 1 hour, and I don't even remember after I finish them what I'm even saying. The truth is that one of my friends asked me what is a podcast, and I told him that I have no fucking clue. I'm just in front of a camera and a microphone, and I'm just talking for 1 hour straight, telling my opinion about Facebook ads or different topics. So the thing, we discussed Black Friday, how you do the ads after Black Friday. That's an attack period. I told you that we're going to have some videos in the channel about the scalings that we have done, some case studies, and the Christmas promotions. And now we're going to discuss a little bit about Q5, and we're going to leave this topic. Q5. Facebook is pushing the concept of Q5. What is Q? Q stands for quarter. Everyone that is doing e-commerce, they know that quarter 1 is the first quarter, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. The thing here is that with quarters, what we are having is there are different quarters that are better. Or, for example, the first quarter is considered very good. It's the start of the year. The second quarter is considered meh, because we have also the summer, which sales are dropping. Then the second quarter is not the summer. It has part of the summer. So January, February, March, April. The second quarter is the summer. The third quarter is a little bit of summer and that. And then we have the last quarter, September, October, November, December, which is considered the best one because it has inside the Black Friday. So the third quarter is the summer, which is considered a little bit medium. A little bit medium is also the second quarter. So for me, the best quarters from my experience, it's the first and the fourth quarter, based on the results that I'm getting. I'm going to explain why first quarter is also good. What is happening though is that after the 25th, all of the people, they are stopping their ads like we do after the Black Friday, in order to see which campaigns are going to survive after the scaling period of the Christmas, which was also a period that we were spending more, and then regroup in order to do new ads on January. And because some people, they also want to give day offs to their personnel on the e-commerce stores and stuff, and it's better not to work in full capacity on that period. So for 7 days you can stop. And because we have to change the year and we want to be with our families. So the thing is that when this is happening, people are not spending in the platform, and guess what is happening? Facebook is very angry about that. So they have thought of the concept of Q5. What is the Q5? Q5 is the period between the 25th and the 31st. What they're doing here is they're doing marketing, and they're naming something Q5 so that's going to sound spectacular, and that's going to be like an acceptable term. because Q1, Q3, and Q4, they are acceptable terms. So we have also Q5. So Q5 is the last period that they say that you're going to have very low CPMs because nobody is advertising on the platform. And you should run ads and you should run promotions on that period because they are losing a lot of revenue because nobody is running ads. And they're sending emails, and the Facebook representatives, most probably that you're going to meet, they're going to talk to you about that. And let me tell you that you should not do it. Just lay low for 7 days and start again the ads on January. Q5 is not working because simply nobody is buying. Nobody gets to buy after that point. And yes, there are going to be sales here and there, but in my opinion, this is a survival period of 7 days and a calibration period after another attack period that you had on Christmas. It's not a crazy attack period, but it is a small attack period. So the thing is that you should not care about the Q5 and don't fall for the marketing of these people that they are just trying to make you spend more with these stupid excuses and the marketing that they are doing. One more thing. Why Q1? Q4, we know why it's being considered very good, but let's talk about Q1, the first quarter. Q1 is considered good because January is most of the times good. What is happening though on January and it's good month? In my opinion, a very big thing is that, first of all, we have the new year and people are buying again stuff. And the second thing is that for me, it's the Chinese New Year. The Chinese New Year means that the Chinese are very strict with it and they are not going to work for, I don't know, I don't know how many days, let's say, I think it's 7 days or something, that they're not going to work before and after the Chinese New Year, something like that, which is on January. I don't remember the dates exactly. Actually, let me see. Just a second. So let me search it. Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year 2022. Okay, so this month is going to be on the 1st of February. Let me see if on the 2021 it was on the same. So on the 2021 it was on the 12th of February. So why we're having good results on January and on February also? People are stopping their ads because they know that during that period, if they're doing drop shipping or whatever, they're not going to be able to communicate with the people that they're making, with their suppliers, basically, to get the products, or the suppliers are not going to ship the products. Also, we know that the system is a little bit flooded also with a lot of orders, which are coming from the Christmas period, because guess what? There are people that they are ordering for drop shipping and stuff, but it doesn't mean that they're going to get their products on the 25th. It's getting after the new year, and there are so many packages and stuff that they cannot actually fulfill all the demands. So what is happening is that they're prolonging this period to the January. And on January, then we have some people that they're stopping because they're expecting the Chinese New Year. And then on February, more people stop because they can do nothing else, just stop because this is what their suppliers are telling them to do. And this is all about the drop shipping. And the drop shipping is not a small percentage of the general e-commerce. So that means that we are having less competition on that period, lower CPMs, because less people are advertising on the platform. This is why Q1 is considered one of the very, for me, the second best quarter, because on this period, it's actually a period that less people are advertising for the reason that I have mentioned. And it's all coming from China and the Chinese New Year. Now, that means that it can be another small attack period for you, that you can scale more on that period and try to maintain this budget for the next months up to the next opportunity that you're going to find. Is it going to be Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, whatever that may be? So that's the situation with Q5 and the other quarters. I don't think that you should fall for Q5, and keep into your mind that whatever Facebook is telling you, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily true. Now, I had a discussion the other time with a person that she was telling me that they are actually, in their country, they're actually optimizing for add to payment info, because the events that we are having on the e-commerce is purchase, add payment info, checkout, add to cart, view content, and page view, which is going to be by default. And of course, if you have any other event. So what's the difference between checkout and add payment info? When somebody is clicking on by the way, let's explain also what's the difference between page view and view content since we are here. When we are having the page view, it's when somebody lands to the site, no matter if they go to a landing page or if they go to a product or to a description page of or to the contact form. It's a page view by default, and it shows that the pixel is actually there. This is going also inside the custom audience of website visitors. It's going to get all of them. View content is when somebody is viewing your content. What does this mean? In an e-commerce store, it means that somebody who is watching for a product, for a category, something that is listed as a category or a product is a view content. And the more they watch, if they watch 5 products, it's going to be 5 view contents. Then we are also having, because this is a good metric also to understand if somebody is searching for a lot of products into your store. And this is something that you can define from the custom audience of top 25% of the people that they have spent, the top 25% of the people that they have spent more time to your site. And we have videos in the channel about the custom audiences, and we explain all of that. Of course, we have another custom audience which you can do with aggregated value of 2, so that you can target people that they have seen not 1, but 2 products or more into your site, which is showing that people love more your brand and they like more your products, they show more interest, and you can use this kind of custom audiences also. So the difference between checkout and add payment info is this. In checkout, somebody is going from add to cart to checkout, they click over there, but they are now the checkout event, but they haven't put their information. When they are on the checkout form, they can put their information. This is when they are becoming add payment info event, and when they buy their buy event. So when you're having the add payment info as optimization, you are gathering also data from your clients like the email or the phone. And this person was telling to me that they are doing that and they're having very good success because after that, they can actually retarget people with email marketing and close deals and stuff. This is something, to be honest with you, that I haven't thought in the past. And yes, I can see that it has some value, because if you are able, and it's not an easy task to do, okay? It's not like you're gathering an email from strangers. You're gathering an email from people that they actually go to checkout. And the way that they do it is that they are optimizing for that. They're getting more data for add payment info, and then they're able to do flows with email marketing and stuff, retargeting people and make them convert with that way. So this is another way for some of you that you're struggling for purchase events. Maybe go one step back to the add payment info. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't go more back, except from the cases that we were discussing on another podcast for some smaller countries that add to cart. For some reason, it's working well. And we explained that maybe the reason is because the people who are adding to cart in these small countries, Facebook doesn't have enough people that they just add to cart, but it's also going to include inside these audiences people who also add to cart and purchase at the end of the day. Because in the United States, the moment you put another event except from purchase, what is going to happen is that most probably Facebook is extremely capable of giving you only people who all of their lives, they're just adding stuff to the cart. Did I say add to purchase? I think I did. I mean add to cart. So when you're optimizing on United States for add to cart or initiate checkout, there are so much data over there that Facebook is just going to give you people that they just add to cart or initiate checkout and they never purchase. But in smaller countries, maybe these numbers are not there, and the people who also add to cart, they also purchase. So Facebook is giving you also these people inside, and you're having sales and good results. That being said, we analyzed about that. Let's talk a little bit about one crazy story with one of my dearest friends, Bim, who is also listening to those podcasts. We were having in his brand some ads, and for some reason, We have seen that in all of the different campaigns that we're doing, because he's fan of my methods and he's using the methods and he likes them. So we were stacking campaigns with different methods and stuff, and we were doing lookalikes, and we realized that in all of the campaigns, we had a lookalike that it was working, and it was 6 to 7%, which doesn't make any sense. Okay, 6 to 7. It's like I'm saying that the lookalike of 7 to 8% worked. It's not even the 1%, 1 to 2, the normal ones, or 5% or 10% that we are testing most of the times. What I'm trying to say is this: don't get discouraged, and keep testing different lookalikes and different methods and different interests and stuff, because you don't know what is going to work. For example, in this case, the 6 to 7% was standing out, so we took it and we put it in a crazy method in order to see how it's going to work. The point here is that you don't know if the 3 to 5% or the 8 to 9% is going to work better from the others, and you don't care about knowing why it's doing better than the others. You just care about the results that it's having. If something is working consistently, move it to crazy method and have the best possible results. Try to expand it further. Another thing that we have done with BIM is that we were working on an account. We have seen one interest that it was having very good add to carts, initiate checkouts, and very good low cost per unique link click. It didn't have sales, so we decided to move it on the crazy method in order to see if we can expand it more. And guess what? It worked flawlessly. So testing different things and different audiences, different interests, different lookalikes, and then seeing if something is standing out because you don't know which one of those is going to work, and then move it to crazy method. I think it's a very good solution for you that you are struggling to get results. And of course, test, 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 test. This is the key to all the success. Now, you know the drama about the agency stuff. The truth is that I'm starting again with the client because the agency actually stopped. I was watching some of their messages that they were sending to the client explaining the situation. And if you watch them, I'm tempted to add them, but I'm not going to continue that drama. I'm actually watching someone sending messages, and it looked like he put so much effort in the account. Because if you read the message without watching what they did on the account, you would say, oh my God, this person is working actually 15 hours per day on this account. And I was shocked when I was watching it. And I thought to myself, is this the same person that is doing the ads? Because he just did one campaign and he's sending all of these positive things of how, and then I'm saying, if you didn't know what's happening on the account, you would think that this account is having 10 ROAS or whatever. Anyway, I think it's not his fault, because this is a template that most probably he's following, and this is my beef with agencies, having these templates and stuff and presenting stuff like the way that they're not, which I think it's like, it looks to me super political correct. And the thing is that with that way of thinking, I was thinking, if we are going to a period of super consolidation, if we're going to a period that we're just going to do one campaign with one ad set and nothing else, and then just put big budgets and stuff, that's our contribution. Why are we Facebook ad experts then? Why are we putting some value to the companies? Because for me, if you're pushing the consolidation method as an agency or as a freelancer, what are you doing? Your job is that you know how to navigate inside the ads manager. Your job should be that you understand the algorithm, that you have experience with scaling, with different methods and stuff. Not just go in all of the accounts that you have, do one campaign with one ad set for retargeting, one campaign with one ad set for cold top of funnel ads, and that's it. Because if this is what we are doing, guys, as Facebook marketeers or as business owners, then it. Let's not do it. Let's put a bot to do it, and let's not waste our time in this platform. If this is where it goes, thank you, but I'm not interested to that. And the last thing, and I'm going to close the topic about the agency over here, is that what I told to the account owner is that I have worked with agencies like this, and the way that he was writing the messages, It was a very positive way of not disturbing the client, and the client thinking that everything is doing well. And it's a template. I get that he is following it, but the problem is that in the agencies that I was working, they were asking also for me to do it with the clients. And guess what was happening? At the end of the day, they were firing me because I was just kept ignoring them. So I'm just working now with some agencies that they're actually good agencies, and they let me express the way that I want to express my feelings about Facebook ads to the clients. And these are the only agencies that I'm currently working now, and I'm very happy with them. And if anyone ever needs any help with an agency, because for me, the job of the agency is not to do Facebook ads. Facebook ads, you can just find a Konstantinos who is going to do your Facebook ads. For me, you can hire an agency because you want an all-inclusive package. For example, you need Google ads, TikTok ads, Facebook ads. You need creatives, you need email marketing, SMS marketing. If you ever need something like that, let me know to give you the contact to these agencies, and we're going to also be able to work together on Facebook ads. But if you're just hiring an agency just to do your Facebook ads, then you don't need an agency. Okay, I think that the agencies are very important to exist, and they are very good agencies. Don't get me wrong. Of course, the agencies that they hire me are the best, but there are also agencies that they are doing all of these services, that there are a lot of companies that they needed, and it's totally fine, because it's very difficult to hire one person for each one of the things that you want to do, instead of just hiring only one person for the instead of just hiring only one person for Facebook ads, only one person for email marketing, whatever. You can hire the agency which is going to actually have a package for all of this kind of stuff. Now, that being said, that's the end of the drama with the agency. We're not going to talk about it again. But please think, if we are thinking about consolidation over here, and the solution is to have a consolidation with one campaign and one ad set on it, then what's the point of getting paid? Okay, for something that someone would do like a VA. We're getting paid like experts for the value that we bring, and for our knowledge and for our experience. The knowledge of going around to the ads manager and just doing this or that, it's something that somebody can learn in 1 hour. But the knowledge that we're giving with all of these different methods, crazy method, whatever, and scaling and stuff, this is coming with the years and with the spend, and this is why it's difficult to find experts in the field. Now, I'm having here on my notes about conversion rate. So a lot of times there are some more metrics that I'm watching. Of course, I'm not always putting all the metrics that I watch in the channel, because I want it for my content to be a little bit more easier for people to understand. But I prepared also a video about conversion rates. Conversion rate is the metric that you're going to have when you're dividing the purchases with the clicks, the link clicks. What does this mean? This means that you're trying to see what percent, and of course you do it as percentage. There is a video which is coming on the channel about that. What are you trying to see is the percentage of people that they have actually converted after clicking. So what you're trying to understand is, from the people that I'm sending to the site, how many people are actually converting. And of course, the conversion rate on the site is the people who came to the site and how many they purchased. This is a percentage. But I don't care about the conversion rate of the site, because this is something that the company has to fix. Okay, this is their funnel. And I'm just concentrated on the Facebook ads. So I'm trying to understand if the quality of the people that I'm sending to the site, and of course, for that, we need to have the constant over here, which is that the site is actually working properly and converting well. So if we have a site that is working properly and converting well, with that way, you can see if you're sending quality traffic to the site and it's actually converting. And of course, this is how we know from this metric that when you're running traffic ads, even though you're having a lot of traffic and a lot of clicks, the conversion rates are very bad, which means that Facebook is sending very bad traffic. We're not just sitting here and we're thinking stuff on our own and we're saying that traffic ads, because they're traffic, they're just bad. There are data that they're backing up this information. The thing here is that with conversion ads, when you're seeing very good, for example, one good conversion that for United States, it can be 3, 4, 5% for normal products like t-shirts and stuff. For refrigerator units, maybe it would be less. I have a company right now with t-shirts, which is the example that we're going to give, that had conversion rates of 70% and 18%, and it wasn't retargeting, it was cold traffic. So my point of view here is this. With a conversion rate, which you can create by doing a custom event in the columns, by dividing the purchases with the link clicks, not the unique clicks, the link clicks, then you are able to actually have a percentage of the people that you can see that they're clicking my ads because they like them. You can see the CTR, you can see the cost per unique link click if they are in acceptable rates. But you can understand that because with traffic ads, you can have low click-through rates or not low click-through rates. You can have low cost per unique click or cost per click, but you cannot have good sales. So with that way, you're able to also evaluate, if you don't believe, for example, Konstantinos, about the traffic ads, that they're not good quality ads, that with that way, you are going to be able to measure also the conversion rate. And this is what I measured in this Black Friday with my crazy method. So I did one crazy method with lookalikes, stacked lookalikes and crazy method. I did one crazy method with broad targeting. And there was the agency. This is the client of that had the agency, because they told me to do ads because they didn't do any ads for the Black Friday. After all, anyway, just one campaign spending an enormous amount of money. So my plan was to divide the budget to different campaigns, which is not a genius plan for me, at least, but for them, they just said, okay, what's our budget daily? 10K. Okay, let's do an Advantage Plus with 10K. That's it, and one ad set. So what I said is that, okay, I'm having 10K. I'm going to do 2.5K on one campaign, which is going to be with stacked lookalikes, crazy method. One campaign, which is going to be with broad targeting, crazy method, and one campaign of 5K, because the other two were 2.5K and 2.5K with Advantage Plus. Basic stuff, guys. Just split your budget to different targetings instead of pushing all of the budget to just one targeting or one ad set. Targeting for hot pockets, let me not repeat myself. So the thing is that I was watching the conversion rates, and my crazy method actually won my Advantage Plus and their Advantage Plus by a lot. And I'm talking about having percentages of 16% and 70% during the Black Friday period, and they have percentages of 10%. The only percentages in the account that they were winning, the conversion rate that they had with the crazy method, it was the retargeting campaigns that they had 19% or 20%. So for me, this was a very big win for the crazy method once again. I know from your comments that the crazy method is working very well, but still, every time I see more and more and more proof that the consolidation is not the way to go, but having the crazy method targeting different hot pockets is the best possible way. And this is how it went. The conversion rates were actually very good, and the plan was actually super successful. Now, I'm having a print screen here, which is the next topic that I want to discuss. What happened during the Black Friday is that I was having an account that I was scaling super hard. And by super hard, I'm talking about, because I was discussing with him before the podcast, 10 minutes before the podcast. He's from Germany. And apparently in Germany, and I have a video with his account about the manual bidding. Manual bidding is working very well on his account. Manual bidding is one old method that I have, and it's working very well. And I'm testing it from time to time to accounts, and in the accounts, guys, that is working still. You cannot imagine. The results are crazy. You can scale super hard and super fast. So I was having 67K on August. I came during that time. I believe it was August. 67K. On September that I took the account, I did, I believe it was 89K. I scaled a little bit. And then on the next month, on October, I did 220 or 230K on spend. And now on Black Friday, I did 300K. But look what happened. I would be able to scale to more, like 350 easily, 400 maybe. Why? Because at some point I saw this. I saw this 20K spending limit, which means one thing, that I was hitting the hidden spending limit of the account. The Facebook ad accounts, they don't have only the spending limits that you can see on the business settings, but they have also hidden spending limits that not a lot of people know. Why? Because they're not reaching them. And let me tell you that the 20K is something that I have seen for the first time. I have seen a 30K, I have seen a 50K in another account, and I have never seen a 20K, but I guess it's because it's in Germany. The problem here is that when this is happening, Facebook is not spending the 20K up to the end of the day. It's going to spend the 20K and then stop for the day. The next day, again, the same thing. Stop the 20K and then stop. This is killing all of your ads. Because if you're spending 20K up to the 5 o'clock in the evening, and then the prime hours you're not having your ads, because most of the times what is happening is that in the morning the ads are starting, they're having lesser results, lesser ROAS, and then the ROAS is increasing during the day. So the problem is that my ads were cut off at 5 o'clock. Of course, I have seen it since the first day because this is an account that needs a lot of caring and I'm watching it every 2-3 hours. When you see an even number like 1,000 to 20K spent, for example, it's in my eyes, it was obvious that I hit a limit that I didn't know that it was there. So the problem is that what you have to, first of all, why Facebook is putting those limits? It's purely for security. First of all, the first thing that Facebook is doing is that it says, what if by mistake, when you're changing the budget, you put instead of 1,000, 20,000, 10,000, not 20,000, 10,000, or 100,000, okay? So they try to protect you with that because if you do it, it's going to spend only the 20K for that day. So you have a limit for that reason. The second reason is for the people who are getting hacked and they get their account hacked. Somebody is coming to the account, they are getting your ad account, they are spending 20K as much as they can in a big budget, who cares? Even if they have 0.3 ROAS, it's a profit for them. So they are spending as much as they can, so they have this limit so that if you get hacked, you will have some time to react and not let them spend as much as they want. So for me, the moment that I saw that, it was a sad moment because I knew that I could scale more. I was doing very well. Imagine that the company has break-even ROAS of 2.5 and I was hitting 4 with 20K days and stuff. And I was scaling very fast and very hard my manual bidding campaigns. I would be able to hit 40K days in the next days. So, but Facebook stopped me. Of course, we contacted customer support, which is the first thing that you have to do in order to be able to increase the threshold. Now the threshold is on 50K, but it's already too late because we lost time. And the second thing is that it killed our momentum. It killed our thing, it killed because it stopped fueling with good data our ads. So the next days were lower, lower, lower. What you need to do in this case of scenario is that you need to go immediately after you see that, and the next day calculate, which is extremely difficult to do when you have manual bidding because you don't know how much manual bidding is going to spend. If you're not familiar with the manual bidding, go check the video. You will understand why it's extremely difficult to understand how much it's going to spend. The thing that you have to do is that the next day after the 20K, you need to be able to spend a little bit lower. Let's say 9,000, 19,500. Lower the budgets everywhere, just so that you can go below 20K. Because if this continues, let me tell you, if this continues for 2-3 days, all of your ads are going to be dead. Of course, by dead, I mean that you will be able to run ads for 2, 3, 4, 5K per day. But this is not the issue because you were scaling already to 20K. So you're losing all of your momentum and all of your scaling. So what did we learn from that thing? There are hidden limits to the ad accounts that you don't know. If you ever hit them, try to contact customer support to increase them. And if you ever hit them, go the next day to a little bit lower from what you were spending, from what is your spending limit. And of course, it's always fascinating to max an account, but it's also not fascinating for Facebook to stop you when you are doing so well. That's about the account spending limit. Let's go to one question that I have here. How do you decide how many times to duplicate the ad? Is it the same rule used in previous crazy method, campaign budget divided with CPA plus a bit extra? First of all, I'm very happy with the way that he's writing this comment because it means that in my videos, even some things are complex, they are understanding what I'm trying to say, which I'm very happy. And this is on a video which is all about Advantage Plus. First of all, this was the concept about Advantage Plus and crazy method. So what I was saying is that when you are running an Advantage Plus campaign, what you're seeing is that in the optimization that you are doing, if you can do any optimization to the Advantage Plus, you're seeing that Facebook is actually focusing in one or two, maximum three, but most of the times it's two ads that it's focusing and spending all the money because it has good results. And this is where you should intervene. If you see that in your Advantage Plus, one of these ads is a bad ad which is not bringing good results, you should close it because this situation is never going to change. It's going to be these two ads that Facebook is going to spend all the money towards to. So what I was trying to say is that if you see one of them working, why don't we take it and duplicate it several times inside the Advantage Plus campaign? So we're having an Advantage Plus campaign with ad 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we see that ad 7 is the best one working, taking all the budget with very good ROAS and very good volume. So even if we increase the budget of the Advantage Plus is not going to spend on the other ad sets, it's just going to spend on this one. So my way of thinking was, how am I going to spend on the others if Facebook is just focusing only on the best, which is good because I'm getting good results, but I want to also test the others. So what I was thinking is that, what if you take and you do another Advantage Plus without this ad 7, you run the others in order to see if it's going to have more sales over there. Remember, we're scaling also with different creatives so that we can have different penetration to the market. And then you take the ad 7, which is a very good ad and it has volume, and you duplicate it again several times within a new Advantage Plus campaign. So now what do you have? You have one campaign that is working with the ad 7 and the other ad whatever, which was the first one. You have another campaign which is going to work with the different ads without the ad 7. And you have the third campaign which is going to work as a crazy method with only the ad 7. So instead of having one campaign and not being able to scale, or just scaling the Advantage Plus that you have by increasing the budget, you're having 3 campaigns. Anyway, the thing here is this. He's asking how many ads we should put when we're going to do the crazy method. It doesn't really matter, and I don't think that the same rules that apply on the CPO optimization apply also here. Why? Because in the CPO optimization, we can see that the budget is being scattered and we can optimize in a different way. But here we are seeing that it's focusing on 2. So in my opinion, the way that you should approach this is the same way that you are approaching the first Advantage Plus. So how many adsets did you had in the Advantage Plus that you started? 10. If you had 10 and you found one good and you want to move it in the Advantage Plus with the crazy method, you take again 10, you duplicate the same ad several times to be a crazy method, and then crazy method Advantage Plus, and then you put exactly the same budget. This is what you should do. But keep into your mind that the CPO and the Advantage Plus, they have completely different way of working, because the Advantage Plus, it's not working like a CPO. And it's optimizing to 1 or 2 ads. And this is the way for me to actually exploit it a little bit more by just doing the separation that I have explained some minutes ago. So try it and let me know. And keep into your mind that the Advantage Plus is a very new feature that we don't know of yet very well. For example, in the Black Friday, I have seen that the Advantage Plus didn't work as well as it was expected. And that the higher CPMs that we had in the period, they actually pushed a lot of Advantage Plus to not having the results that other normal traditional campaigns or crazy method campaigns were having. But still, I think it's a very good tool. At last, we have a new tool. The last good thing that Facebook gave us, it was the CBO campaign instead of ABO. So now we have also the Advantage Plus. It's a good tool. We're going to use it. We're going to learn more about it. And we will be talking about it in the next podcast or videos. I have a print screen here. Also, we are going to the little bit softer topics here just to start closing the podcast. There is one, how much time do we have? 49. So it's going to be 1 hour again. So we have over here one message which it says a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I want to focus in the one thing that it says, which is really bothers me. It says, can you guarantee that you can run a profitable Facebook ads campaign for one product? And this was a stimulation for me to discuss that whoever is guaranteeing results for the Facebook ads platform, he's either delusional, crazy, or he's clueless. And the problem here is that you cannot guarantee results for the Facebook platform because you don't predict the future and you don't know what is going to happen. If this was a crystal ball over here in my desk, most probably it would be easier to find the solution inside here instead of just thinking it out of my head. So you cannot predict the future, you cannot guarantee any results on the Facebook platform, and whoever is telling you that, run away. Because clearly there are people that they don't know what they're talking about. The same thing happened with the agency and my client. They promised so much and they delivered nothing. And for me, this is a red flag. Not like the red flags that we were discussing in the previous podcast about the bar and the girl that they end up having a 4-month relationship. Not about that. By the way, I tested with my friends. Nobody's listening to the podcast, including my wife. But anyway, this is inside joke for those that are listening all of the length of my podcast. I guess these are the only ones that they will understand it. So this is a red flag for me, for people that they're telling you this. With whoever I have worked with, I told them that we don't know the results. We don't know what is going to happen. I'm just showing you my results. I'm just showing you my way of thinking, the way that I want to do it. Take it or leave it. Give it a chance. And you will see what kind of results you're going to have. But nobody can actually guarantee what is going to happen. And even on accounts that I'm working, I can give some projectiles based on what is happening. For example, for the account that I was working with the manual bidding, I could understand that I could scale on the Black Friday. Okay, it's a different discussion. But I would never tell him that we will go to 400K, for example. I could not tell this kind of stuff. So it's by doing it and by just progressing and understanding how it's going to work. So be careful with that. Now, I'm seeing here another post. It's about, again, the beef with agencies, but not with all the agencies, just the stupid agencies of 60 years old people that they just want to have an agency and be CEOs. He says, I'm creating a marketing coaching agency. I don't have time to do it myself. However, I know marketing well, so I will know whether or not you know what you're doing. If you're good at marketing and feel you can show others how to, then you're a perfect fit. In my opinion, whoever is telling most of the times that they know a lot about something but they are not going to do it because they don't have time, it's a strong indication that they know nothing. It really reminds me of my years in the university when, do you know the video game Pro Evolution Soccer in PlayStation? Whenever somebody was coming to me and telling that I'm very good, I'm going to do the 5-0 on just 30 minutes. Okay, I was dominating him. So whenever somebody is talking too much and they say things like I know how to do this but they don't have the time, it's that bullshit. Total BS. Say to yourself, look guys, I want to do this. I want to have an agency. I want to take an expert to do it and I want you to help me. It's simple as that. Don't try to pretend like you know what you're talking about. Also, I have this concept of older people or people on the same age as me, that they say that they know marketing and they think that they know also Facebook. You know shit, because Facebook is completely different. And for my whole life, I'm trying to understand the algorithm and I'm still learning. I'm still learning and learning and learning. And this is the reason that I'm doing consultings with people. And this is the reason that I work even on some new accounts that I shouldn't work, because with someone like me could just take big accounts and just don't bother with others. I am learning every single day. And there are people that they're just doing marketing or they have done an MBA, which I have actually done also. but it doesn't prove that you know how to do Facebook ads or understand the algorithm, because you need to spend millions in the platform in order to understand how the platform is working. So if you know how to do Google ads, sorry, but you don't know how to do Facebook ads and you don't understand Facebook ads. If you know how to do marketing in general, you don't know how to do Facebook ads also. So let's cut with this stupid story that for people, they say that they know marketing, but they know also Facebook because of that, because they don't. Let's go to another thing. Here it says another person, I need help by passing two-step authentication and identity verification for Facebook. Will provide account details. Need to get in my account to speak with family. So I don't know the concept of people needing their social media to speak with their family. I don't know if it's an excuse of people saying it, because there are also people sending me messages on Instagram and they tell me that I need to get my account back because this is the only way that I can contact my family. I don't understand it. I think it's an excuse so that they can make it look like an urgency. Anyway, maybe it's a concept for some countries. Most of these people are from India, so I don't know. But anyway, in this specific case, if you find a guy who is able to bypass the two-factor authenticator, which is actually built in order to prevent people of getting passed by the two-factor authenticator, then I think that this person can make millions from the Facebook platform, because this is going to be a major security breach. So what this person is asking here is for the best hacker in the world to bypass the two-factor authenticator in order to get his account back, which, let me tell you, that's not going to happen. And if any one of you has a solution on how to do that, I would like to know so that I can sell it to Facebook. Now, last thing, and most probably I'm not having freelancer diaries today, which is fine. Maybe we can call freelancer diaries the guy who was talking about knowing marketing, so he knows also about Facebook ads. Okay. Or the guy who can guarantee results. Anyway, so last thing. Here we have one message that says, these are random jobs that I'm finding on Upwork, and I'm just taking print screens so that we can discuss them. It says, Facebook administrator expert to delete my personal Facebook account and continue my professional Facebook account. Now, a lot of times the concept, first of all, the whole business manager is, you have the business manager and your business manager is attached to your personal account. You cannot have a business manager without having a personal Facebook account. And this is why I'm telling that you have to be careful with Facebook, because if Facebook ever bans you, it doesn't ban your business account, it bans you. It is a personal ban. And Facebook bans people, it doesn't ban accounts. So even if you create another account later with your name and stuff, maybe you are going to get banned also there, depending on what you have done. So you cannot delete your personal account and just have a business account, because everything that you do in a business account, it's actually attached to your personal account. So your personal account is always going to be there. Second thing is that the whole concept that we are having here is that we have a personal account, which is on the top, and then below that we have the different business accounts that you can build. And inside the business account, we have the ad accounts that you can run the ads, and we have the pixels and stuff, and everything gets attached there, and the domains and everything. So, in my opinion, and based on that, first of all, let's discuss that you cannot delete your personal account and have a business account. You will always have a personal account. The second thing is that when you're having different businesses, I think that you need to have different business accounts, okay, for your different businesses, so that you can also have your information there and do the taxation and everything, taking the expenses and from the invoices that you are spending, for the invoices for the ads that, for the money on the ads that you are spending. And the last thing is that I think that you need to have also backup accounts, if it is possible and you are having enough spots. Because a lot of times when one business account is going to be banned, it doesn't mean that necessarily your personal account is going to be banned. So you need to have, and let me tell you that there are cases that people are getting banned for no reason. So when you're having a business, I think you need to have a second business that you're going to associate your pixel with the other one also, which is going to be your backup plan. And you will be able to use your pixel, even from a banned account, you will be able to use your pixel in another business so that you're not going to lose all of your data. And the last thing that I want to point out here is that I'm pointing all of these things on my videos, but I think with a podcast it's easier. That if you're having an ad account and your ad account and is the only ad account that you're having, then the problem is that if you get banned in the business, you're having another account, then if you get banned, you're not able to create another ad account to run ads if your ad account gets banned, because there are different bans. It's the personal ad account ban, it's the business ban, and it's the ad account ban. So you might get banned only in the ad account. You need to have backup ad accounts ready to be able to be used, because when you have only one ad account and your ad account is going to be banned, when you will try to create another one inside this business which is not banned, Facebook is not going to let you because you still have one ad account which is banned. So keep all of these things into your mind. Just try to do different businesses, more ad accounts and stuff, so that you will have all of the ways of actually trying to prevent you stopping from advertising to Facebook because of a stupid no reason ban. If you're getting banned for any other reason that it's valid, well, good luck to you. And we hope to never see you again to the platform, because you're actually don't deserve it. And just to close, you cannot have a business account without having a personal account, as I said. So don't expect it to be deleted and just have a business account. I think that's all I had. How much time do we have?
1 hour, 1 minute.
1 hour and 1 minute. That's perfect. That's within my normal times. I expected it to be smaller, as always, but it wasn't. So guys, it was a very good Black Friday. I'm exhausted, but I'm also very happy for the results that I had. And don't forget that until we meet again, you have to be creative and you have to be consistent. Don't forget that if you want to learn more about Facebook ads, you can check my book or my free course. And I will see you in the next podcast. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.